Hey, welcome back to DIY Willy. Today, we're getting back to the RZR, or excuse me, I should say, the BAJA RZR project. We've got it here, and for the most part, I've done everything I can do to the frame. I really need to get the body mounted so that I can make the piece that's marked out here in orange tape. We're going to bend some tubing to fit that, and well, I need to have the body on here to figure out my dimensions, my measurements. Everything else is ready. I still need to do these plates over here on the sides, here on the sides, but yeah, I haven't got to that yet. I put the brake lines back together to see if they would still fit with the stretch, and they do. They still fit. I'll probably have to make an adapter right there for the block, because it won't go all the way up here where it was. So that's no problem. I can easily do that. So what we're going to do today is get to cutting on the body. Quite a bit of the body has to be cut away to fit over the frame. And well, there's a lot of cutting to do. The frame at its widest section from that point to this point is 45 inches. The same as it is up here. It's 45 inches. Now the B-pillar on the bug in the middle is well over 45 inches. There's not a problem. But up there in the front, on the A-pillar and the whole dashboard area up there in the front, it's about 38 and a half. So it's not going to fit right here. So after doing some research, what I got to do is cut a whole hell of a lot of it away. Let me show you. Now, like I always do, I already got started. I cut this piece off using my cutting wheel. I laid it out about 3 3/4 inches from the drip rail over. I figure that's a good spot. The fiberglass piece will come and sit right here. So I already started cutting it, removing that section. I already started cutting on the inside right here. I need to cut up all the way around and across and down. And I've already laid out my marks here for this side. I'll go ahead and put up the blue tape there also to mark my cut as a guide. I'm gonna get cutting this pieces up. Unfortunately, I already patched this up a while back. I made this filler patch of some sheet metal I had to fill in some rust holes that were down here. I got it all repaired, and now we're gonna cut it all up. Anyway, that's the way it goes, right? With projects, you never know what direction they're gonna go. I've been working on these handles also. A few years ago, my the older bugs had a style of handle like this. This one actually went all the way to there, but right now we're cutting it off and filing it down. We'll sand it off or sandblast it and paint it to match black, most likely. But it works really well. I just got to figure out the stop on the inside to see how it pulls out like that. But it does work. We'll figure that out. So taking a look at the inside, here's where my cut is, right there, where I'm going to go down and cut the front section off, and then it'll come up along here and along this seam right here. Oh, there you go. You can't see it. Come along this seam right here, like that, all the way across, and then back down on this side. And that'll take the whole front half off. We'll get rid of a lot of this material that doesn't need to be there. So this is the dimension from this A-pillar to this is like 38 and a half. So I need 45, and it just so happens that the 45, let me close the door, that the 45 is at the edge of the door right here where I've got that line drawn. That's 45. So the front of the RZR will actually be up in this area, and the dashboard and steering column will come up in the exact same spot. So I can leave a little bit here, but not too much. I'm gonna probably cut it on this side of the line and across right here. Now I've actually kind of laid it out on this side. I've got that line, and I've got the line drawn right here. You can see it where it's drawn to keep my 45 all the way through. So that's a lot of material going to get cut away. Now this is where the heater channels mount, or where the pan bolts to the heater channels is going to go away. There's the bolt holes right there. You can see them on the gasket. That's the bolt holes. So I'm going to have to come up with another way of bolting the pan to the RZR. I was hoping I could use those bolt holes, but it's not going to happen that way to make room for the 45 inches I need off the RZR. So yeah, I say I get busy here and start cutting. Got my tape measure, got my squares, my Sharpies. Man, we're getting in here and we'll get things marked up and start chopping this thing up. Before you know it, we'll have it just about ready to go on. Oh, talking about the body, this is your B pillar right here at the doors. Then you have your C pillar back there. Right here on the B pillar from this side to this side is like 47 inches. It's more than enough. So I'm not worried about anything that's in this area. I might trim some of this stuff up just for the heck of it, just to make a little extra room. I don't know. But this section of it also has to go away, because the RZR body will come up in here. And this is where that triangulated piece that I need to make that was marked in the orange tape, it's going to be in here. It's going to be right in here somewhere. And the engine will be right here. It'll be like a mid-engine car. So I could probably make it, because it's bigger than 45 inches. But I'd rather make that piece when I have the full dimension inside the body. So this will be pretty much easy. I'll just cut it right down through here like that. Maybe clean it up a little bit. I don't think the wheel wells will be a problem, but if they are, we can ditch those too. But it should cut away really nice. Hopefully it doesn't become too flimsy. I may wind up putting a support from here to here in just to hold the body. I don't know yet. I could easily do that and keep the body kind of in shape. This car has, if you see up here, it's got the sunroof, and there's a lot of work I'm going to keep the sunroof, and there's a lot of work that's going to go into preserving the sunroof and making it work again. As you can see, there was a lot of holes drilled because this was a Baja bug in the past, and they drilled a lot of holes in it to mount lights and, I don't know, racks and whatever on top. So I've welded all those holes up, and I've done the body work on the outside to smooth it all out. Even these up here, not the prettiest welds, but that's no big deal. We're gonna make a cover that goes over here to cover all that up anyway, and sound dampening the whole car again. But yeah, so since Mikey's being loud, I think we're gonna go ahead and start cutting and making some noise of my own and making room for this bug to fit over the RZR chassis. All right, let me get going. All right, so I'm gonna get after this, cutting this on that tape line there with my Wonderblade, the blade that I used in my first Tool Tuesday video. As you can see, it cuts really well, and it's really accurate, easy to control. So I'm going to continue this cutting, and hopefully, as long as my battery run works. If my battery runs out, then I'll switch over to a regular power tool. But for now, it's kind of convenient not to have a tail on it. I don't know how well that camera's going to work out sitting up on top of that body like that. It might vibrate too much, but we'll see. We'll see right now. I can't stress enough, anytime you're doing anything with grinders, any kind of mechanical tool or any type of electric tool, always get the safety glasses on, and you never know when something's going to go flying. So the Ryobi battery operated tool ran out of juice, so I've got to let it cool down before I can charge the battery. I have another battery, but I'd rather switch over to this one anyway. It'll never stop. So let's get going. It's quick worth of that, let me tell you. Very nice. All right, here we go inside. Put some earplugs in. It's gonna be loud inside the car. Hope I'm not talking too loud. It might help the video, I don't know. But we're gonna go ahead and make these cuts now on the inside. I may have to get the Sawzall to cut in here. I don't know yet, we'll find out. But we're gonna go ahead and make these cuts and get this piece off. All right. Now I just want to say that this body had a lot of rust in it. I was putting repair panels in it all over the place. The back half of it was already cut off. Yeah, it was in pretty bad shape. Yes, of course, the Volkswagen purists are going to say, yeah, you could have repaired it. And I could have. I could have bought, every panel is available for this thing. I could have replaced every panel and made it a fine working bug again. But I needed something for this project. Just like the RZR was in pieces when we got it, and I could have put an engine on it and could have bought the missing plastics, and it would have been a perfectly good RZR. This could have been a perfectly good bug again. But with the damage that it had, this was a good choice for what we needed to do to build a whole new project, the BAJA RZR project. So I know some people will say, why did you cut it up? Why did you cut it up? This is why. You know, this was the perfect project car for this. A lot of rust, a lot of missing panels, a lot of miscellaneous holes all over the place. And even at the pan, I wish I could show you where they had replaced the pan inserts. And man, they did a really crappy job. There's a lot of missing welds that need to go in. It wasn't structurally sound anymore. And honestly, I didn't know that until I took the pan off of it. I'm so glad I took the pan off to figure that part out. Again, I could have welded it back together. But this was the perfect car to use on the RZR frame to make the BAJA RZR project, you know. It's going to be a good project. And we're not wasting either one. We're taking two vehicles and making one incredible vehicle with the two of them. So I'm sorry for those who feel I should have saved this. It's a 1970. There's a lot of 70s, folks. There's a lot of 70s Volkswagens. I think they made them all the way up into the 80s. Maybe even into the early 90s. I'm not sure down in Mexico. But there's a lot of them. A lot of them. Now, if this were early 60s, or even into the 50s, like my dream bug would be a 57. If this would have been any of those years, I wouldn't have touched it. I wouldn't have done a thing. I would have looked for something different, much like this, to build this project. I have a lot of respect for these cars. I love these cars. This one is going to become something great. And, well, we just got to make it happen. Here we go. Now I just got a little bit of the heater channels to cut out, and this thing will come right off of here. You can see those patch panels on the inside that I made. I hand fabricated these panels to fit in here, and yeah, it was a lot of work. It turned out really good. It would have looked good with the carpet on it. You would never even have seen them. But as the project progresses, this is where we're going. Let me go out and figure out what I'm going to do on the outside to finish this cut through the heater channel on both sides. And this piece will come right off of here. Whew, that was a lot of work. That blade though, that I have on my grinder, that thing, man, that thing cut through everything. This Wonderblade, can't even tell what it is anymore. All the writing's gone off of it. But it's a Wonderblade 4.5-inch cutting wheel. And man, that thing cuts through everything without any problem whatsoever. And if you look, it's not even deteriorating yet. Wow, that is a great blade. I'll leave a link in the description for these blades and where you can pick them up at. They work really well for cutting through this metal. So taking a look in here, you can see I put this panel in, as I was saying earlier, and well, now we need to weld it up better, I guess. Put some more support in there to help support the outside. There's a hole down there where the daylight's coming through. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that up, put a plate underneath it and weld it up as best I can to help stiffen the door, because we're gonna cut so much of this structure out to fit it over the razor. Also, I believe it's Eastwood. I'm not sure if it's who it is, but somebody makes a product with a hose that can go inside there and spray all inside the heater channel here, and it will encapsulate the rust and turn it into something that basically stops the rust. So I'm going to be doing that. I know Duplicolor makes a product too, but I need to spray inside the whole channel and stop this rust from coming down. So I'm going to look into that. I'm going to put some more weld in here, finish welding this up once I get all the cuts done. My cut line that I have on this side of the door takes it through the hinge bolt. I don't like that. So I'm going to have to cut it a little more on the outside and bring it up so I keep my hinge face all intact. So I may not cut right there on that line that I originally planned on, but I probably will, however, cut this line out like I have it marked over here. That line right there, we'll cut that line out, but I want to leave as much of this intact as I can for support the door hinges. Once we get it on the razor, we can always build something to the frame that unbolts or bolts whatever welds that will help strengthen this part of the car right here, so the doors aren't wobbly and they still latch. As I was saying about that hole, that's designed into the car by Volkswagen as a weep hole. It allows water to drain out. This, as I was saying, this car has a sunroof, and if you look in the corner, there's a little hose over there. That side is missing. That hose comes down inside the A-pillar to right here and ends inside this cavity here, and it allows the water to drain from the sunroof, and it goes in here, and it's got to have a place to go, so it goes out that hole down there. Now this one is pretty rusty too, and I'll probably do some more work on that as well to stiffen it up. But as you can see, this fender is also rusted out at the bottom here, so I'm going to go ahead and repair this as well and get it as strong as I can get it, because we're going to need all the support we can get here. Most of this is going to cut away, as I said, and we're going to cut on that line right there and see what we get. So yeah, I may end this video here. I got a lot of measurements to do, a lot of checking things out to see, make sure we have the clearance we need, and to make sure we have the measurement we need without hurting the A-pillars and the door hinges. So it's very important that I get that right. So I may end this video here and just do a whole hell of a lot of measuring and checking everything and making sure that I'm in the right spot. Like I said, this has been done before, so people have done it. I've tried to look at pictures, I've tried to read up on articles. They don't really talk about it that much, what they did here where I'm at right now. So I'm just gonna have to figure it out. I know I gotta be 45 inches width inside there to fit over the razor. So yeah, we're gonna get there. And well, I'm bringing you guys along for the ride. You can see the amount of rust and dirt and everything else that came out of those. Look at the hardware and stuff. And this pin from University of Michigan. That's interesting. Anyway, Gert's barking. FedEx. Anyway, so I'm gonna clean this mess up and rude. And start measuring this thing out, checking it for those last cuts I need to make. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and come back to DIY Willy for your BAJA RZR project needs. Or you just want to see how it comes out and what mistakes I make along the way, if I make any at all. Yeah, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I don't know how well that camera's gonna work out sitting up on top of that body like that. It might vibrate too much, but we'll see. We'll see right now.